Listen up, maggots. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse.
I first heard of Scott 10 years ago. I'm watching, I think it's the second season of Toy Hunter, right? And Jordan pulls out this brown-haired colored He-Man. This is 10 years ago. I didn't even know what it was. And he's like, I got to authenticate if it's real. Scott knows where I'm going with this, right? And then his friend says, I got this guy. He's called the Toy Guru online. So they go to Scott's place, and he identifies that Wonder Bread He-Man. Scott buys it right on the spot for, I think, $450. Which now seems cheap, right, for a Wonder Bread He-Man. Did you end up keeping that Wonder Bread He-Man?
Well, it wasn't me buying it; it was Mattel.
Ah,
Right.
okay,
So
that makes sense. Because they never said that in the episode, so I assumed with your collection that it was just going in your collection. Because they ended the episode with the figure on the shelf, which I know you have to do for production reasons, but I didn't realize Mattel was buying it. Okay.
Yeah, if memory serves, I mean, I know I don't. It's not in my possession. I don't ever remember paying him myself, so I don't remember. But I want to say like Mattel was buying it.
Okay, I know Mattel was sent him on the hunt, and you were involved to try to find Titus, Megator, the laser-powered He-Man, and the laser-light Skeletor. I remember that episode. I remember it was very clear Mattel was paying for that one. I didn't realize that they also would have bought the Wonder Bread He-Man. But I guess
want to say they did. My memory is a little vague on.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the episode maybe 4 years ago, which is why I still remember it. But yeah, okay, that's interesting. All right.
Yeah. And lo and behold, now we've solved that mystery. So.
Yeah. I included that in my video as well. But that ended up not being a Wonder Bread thing. It was like a buy three get one.
Right.
Buy three get one offer that they had for a limited time. Right.
Yeah, I wound up stumbling across a letter in like a box of material I was using for a coffee table book.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is interesting. It's a complaint letter about the $1 promotion.
When you put it together, makes sense. Cool.
The way that unraveled, that mystery that we'd had for so long, the way that it unraveled in that way, and it could have been easily missed even now. Had it not been, that letter hadn't been looked at and investigated further, we'd still be thinking it was a Wonder Bread promotion today.
Yeah, it honestly, when I read it, I actually got like that whole like goosebumps. Like, is this like? It's like this can't be like she's not just. But I'm like, I read it again. I was like, no, the details match up, and I also was able to sort of superimpose on that the like sort of corporate attitude that I know, like in general exists. And assuming that like the way I knew it today was similar to in the 80s, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That like one person would complain, it would get to the president, he'd be like, just stop doing it, just stop making production. We can't afford bad press. Mail them a different figure, like and then they got stuck with all those weapons. So,
how did you get that letter, by the way? Because that would have been in a stack of old paperwork that was several years old after you left Maddie.
Yeah, So what I did is when I was at Maddie in 2009, I think it was, that we did a coffee table book on the history of the He-Man brand, and as it's actually perfect to come full circle to what one of your first questions about it sort of being a night job. To do this coffee table book required a lot of research and a lot of time going through old material, and that was not something I had time to do during the normal workday. So what I would do is I would come in on the week. I would order books from the archive or order boxes from the archive, and then come in on the weekends and dig through them. And then things that looked interesting, I would mark. And if it wasn't labeled confidential or whatever, do not. I had permission to photocopy it, and everything I photocopied got reviewed to make sure it wasn't anything like. And like I said, I was basically mostly taking old memos and nothing that was like revealing anything. People were probably from legal were probably laughing at me like, why does he want a photocopy of this? So when I started the channel, I was just going through my old boxes from Mattel, and I had the material at home because that was the only time I had to work on the book. So I had to get permission to bring it home. And just going through that box again, I was going piece by piece, seeing is there anything interesting that might make a good video. And I found that. I was like, oh, that's the whole story.
Yeah, that's wild. Like that's what I mean. It could have been easily missed. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment down below.